Hey everybody, Matt here. I'm gonna try and make this as quick as possible, just because I've got a lot to say. And anyway, I'm just gonna jump right into it. Our country is in a very sad state right now, and we've got so many problems, and we're being attacked on all fronts right now. And unless we start really trying hard, we're not gonna make it. I mean, right now it's gonna be tough, but we can still fight this crap. But if we keep letting it go on, there's not going to be anything left to fight for. You know, I know it almost seems pointless to keep saying this because there's so many voices out there repeating over and over again the same things, but I keep thinking if every time one person says something, if only one other person listens, that's a start. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Let's start with terrorism. I'm not never been a big fan of George Bush. I'm from Texas, as most of y'all know. When he was the governor here, I've even had Democrats tell me he was one of the best governors we ever had. But something happened to that dude when he got into into the White House, and I don't know if he was just listening to the wrong people or what. But one thing I can say about him is he kept us safe, and we've had more terrorist attacks in the last year and a half than the entire 8 years George Bush was president. Okay. What about calling a terrorist a terrorist? There's something you don't hear every day. You know, we've got all these people that they don't want to call terrorists because it's not PC, you know, it's not politically correct. But I guarantee you if some white guy went and blew up a damn Capitol building, it wouldn't matter if he wasn't connected to some organization. They'd still call him a terrorist. Well, now we got these people who are Middle Eastern, and they're not connected actually to Al-Qaeda or Hamas or wherever. So they're not really terrorists. They acted alone. They were just crazy. They were just crazy. It's bullshit. They were terrorists, okay? I don't care if they acted alone or not, they were terrorists. And then you've got, is it Eric Holder and Elena Kagan, a new Supreme Court, whatever she is. You know, both of them have both said that there are instances where when terrorism is involved, it's okay to ignore the rights of U.S. citizens. Really? It is? I mean, I'm not a fan of these scumbags who do this shit, you know what I mean? But come on, they're American citizens. I mean, basically what we've boiled down to is we're protecting the people who aren't citizens, and the people who are citizens, well, we can strip their rights. It's bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. And then you've got this green movement, okay? Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know that as far as being environmentally friendly and stuff like that, I'm all for that, man. Go, you know, I got no problems with it. I think it is our responsibility to take care of the environment as best we can. But when government gets involved in these issues, it all goes to shit, okay? Look at people like Al Gore and Jeffrey Immelt, okay? You all know who Al Gore is. Some of you may not know who Jeffrey Immelt is. He's the CEO of GE, okay? GE happens to own NBC. Jeffrey Immelt, when Barack Obama got into the presidency, was put on the Federal Reserve Board, and he was also put on the Economic Recovery Advisory Board. Okay, so this guy is now in charge of helping make policy for the government to instill on we the people. Okay, his only motivation is money. The more green stuff that he can push through Congress or help to recommend to push through Congress that gets it, put onto us, the more money he makes. Just like these rebates that went out for water heaters and for dryers and washers, for the Energy Star crap. Well, you get all this rebate if you buy these products. Okay, sounds good. Except for the fact that GE's the one making the products, so they're making all the money. Okay, just like Al Gore. Al Gore is tied into so many organizations that stand to gain profit from the green movement. It's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Okay? You want to be environmentally friendly? Fine. That's a good thing. But you want to listen to the BS from these guys? They don't give a damn about the environment. They care about money. Period. Point blank, that's it. Okay? Then we've got the whole problem with the unions in our countries. We're about this close from ending up like Greece. Okay? What happened to Greece? Basically, they kowtowed to their unions and went into socialism. Okay? I'm not going to go into all the details. You can look up the details on the unions and the stuff that's going on in Greece, but we're about that close from giving the unions here in the U.S. the same power of shaping, the country as they did in Greece. Okay, and that's what happened to Greece. It along with its unions stepped into socialism. Okay, the unions want power. I'm not talking about union workers. The union workers are hardworking people just like everybody else. Okay, but the unions as an entity are pieces of shit that just care about having more power. Okay, that's why they gave all their money to Barack Obama to get elected. Okay, that's why they're the ones that have the ear of the president. Okay, he owes them. That's why he's shaping legislation that benefits them. Okay. Last week, a report came out saying that 42% of the weight of the compensation in this country now comes from private entities. Okay, that is the lowest it has ever been in U.S. history. Okay, 42% of money came from private entities, or of compensation, whether that's benefits packages or wages or whatever. Okay, it has never been that low in the history of this country. Okay, basically what that means is the government only gets its money from taxing people. Okay, but now the government all of a sudden, if 42% of compensation is coming from private sector, that means 58% is coming from the government. Now, if the government only gets its money from taxing the money that comes from the private sector, how can the tax money from 42% pay for the other 58%? It's impossible. Okay, the only way this works is if you keep borrowing money from China. Okay, and that ain't gonna last forever. Okay, that turd is eventually gonna get flushed, and China is gonna own our ass. Okay, so it's completely unsustainable, and anybody who argues against that is a retarded asshole. Okay, it just pisses me off. I see these people talking about government reform and let's more government jobs, and it's unsustainable. 1 and 1 does not make 10. Period. It doesn't. It's mathematically impossible to maintain this. Okay, eventually it's going to collapse our economy. Now we've got the government that wants to, through the FCC, control the internet with this net neutrality crap. They want to control the internet. They say, oh, it's all about bandwidth, and it's all about making sure everybody has access to the internet. But by doing this, you're giving the control over the internet and regulating it through the government. Okay, now let's step back here a minute, because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this is a good thing. Okay, mostly from the left side of the aisle, Democrats. Think about this, Democrats. Think about what happens in 2 years, or maybe in 6 years, maybe even in 10 years, when a Republican gets elected into the presidency, and the Republican runs everything. And Congress is mostly Republican, and the Senate is mostly Republican, and this FCC law of net neutrality is on the books. But now the Republicans are in control of it. Are you going to like it then? I don't think so. Okay? So why? Why do you think it's such a good idea? Show me when in history that the government controlling something has ever benefited the people of the country. It hasn't. It never does. They say it does. They try to point to polls and this and that to say it does. It never does. It always works out to be bullshit. Look, the point is, we've got a lot of problems, and I don't want to blame any one specific person or one specific party, because this is all shit that's been building up over the last 20 years. Republicans and Democrats have screwed this country up and got us to where we are now. Okay? We're facing problems from every angle, and we have to fix it. And like I said, man, it's almost, sometimes it feels pointless to keep spouting off about this stuff, but at some point you have to sit down and you have to say, God, if I can just reach one person today and make them think about this, maybe that'll help. So that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully there's one person out there who was watching this who didn't agree with anything I said until they watch this. And maybe it'll make them think and make them go, okay, maybe it's something to think about. I don't want you to think like me. I don't want you to do what I say. I just want you to think. I want you to use common sense and realize that this just can't keep going on. We've all enjoyed our freedoms for hundreds of years now, and the way our country's going, it's not going to last much longer. But anyway, that's it. That's my little rant. I appreciate you watching. I'll have some more vids up soon, and thanks again.